Hello, thank you for tuning in. This is Brandy Lloyd with Brandy Lloyd Personal Training and Holistic Nutrition. I want to offer you 3 things today that you can commit to for maybe a 14-day detox. So I'm kind of doing this as a little midsummer clean it up opportunity for many of you. I live in the mountains, for those of you who don't know me on a personal or face-to-face level, but we spend a lot of time outside in the mountains, and we hike, we canoe, we just sit outside on our decks, and we take lots of walks, and it's just absolutely easy to be outside with your friends and your family. And a lot of times that comes with alcohol and snacky desserts like the chips or the popsicles or just lots of birthday parties and anniversaries and lake days and which are all amazing, but boy, do they really start to compound throughout the summer. And then we start to really look hard in that fall time, knowing that the holidays are coming up. So why don't we just nip it in the bud right now? And most of us have enjoyed a fruitful June, and we're wrapping up July. And let's just focus on maybe the next 2 weeks, the first 2 weeks of August, making some small changes that will make some dramatic impacts and changes in your health. Excuse me. So the 3 things that I want to talk to you today about, simple steps that you can take. And I want you to choose your own detox time, whether it's 7 days or 14, 28, 30 days, maybe commit until the kids go back to school or September 1st, or put anything through the end of the year, whatever. It's up to you. You don't necessarily have to follow my schedule or my format that I have set up. I want you to feel empowered to choose your own. And typically most of us know how deep of a hole we have dug, and really the further you deep, the longer it's going to take to fill it back in and get to that baseline of balance or homeostasis, just feeling good and good health. Something I want to say about good health is that in my personal experience, which is over 20 years working with students, is that most people don't really know that they don't have good health. They just kind of deal with stuff, or they blame it on age or season, or they kind of look across the board at other sick people that they work with or that's in their life and say, well, these are the exact same things that this person deals with. It's just normal. Well, there's a lot of things that we become thick-skinned to about our health, and or putting blinders on, whatever way you want to think about it. And poor sleep is one, right? That, well, I'm getting older, or I'm just busy. Nobody sleeps through the night anyway. That's one thing. Or have to take potty breaks, because you're getting older. Or just general aches and pains in your body. Just, I have a desk job. Or, I played hard last weekend. Or, that workout was really tough. Or whatever excuses that you want to give, they really are that, just excuses. There's a reason why your body feels too tight, too banged up, or doesn't want to perform, or here it is again, 3 times a year your back goes out, or whatever it is. That's not normal. Our bodies really shouldn't have all these aches and pains, even through advanced age. Another thing is weight gain, especially belly fat. A lot of women refer to it as, menopause belly, like, well, that's just what happens, kind of a thing, or just fatigue in the afternoon, or daily headaches, or cravings, or just emotional ups and downs, just, or just realizing I'm just so grumpy, or I'm just so serious. I think we start to just think that, this is life, and it's really not life. You really can have boundless energy. You really can have a positive attitude and feel joy and peace. You really can feel healthy and have a body that moves well. You really can go through an afternoon without having a crash. You really can sleep all night. You really can go on vacation and not come back 8 or 10 pounds heavier, or 2 or 3, or whatever it is for you. So that's what I kind of want you to really do, a little bit of self-evaluation and say, do I need to do a little detoxing time? Because I have to say, all of my students, the first phase is always cleaning it up and cleaning it out. It doesn't matter if you're dealing with fibromyalgia or Hashimoto's or perimenopause or menopause, or just that you have overweight or prediabetes, diabetes, whatever it is, IBS. Everybody kind of needs to clean it out, typically. Clean it out, or clean it up and clean it out. And part of that cleaning it up is, in future episodes, I'm going to go over in greater detail why it's a no-brainer to eat organic. There's lots of different opportunities and ways for us to do this these days. It doesn't have to be an elitist kind of thing to where, only the wealthy are buying organic food. In future episodes, which are actually coming up, this is one of my next ones coming up, I'm going to talk to you about not only why we need to eat organic food and what has been happening to our bodies over the last 30, 40, 50, 60 years with the introduction of a lot of different pesticides and genetically modified organisms. That just scares me. I don't want food that just isn't natural. I don't want man-made food, right? I don't want food that's been altered and houses its own extremely toxic pesticides, or that it's bigger than it should be, or that the crop is faster than it should be, right? So before I tread too far down that, let's just commit to this. Remember your time frame. Think about what your intention is. What are you really wanting to work on when you're considering that time frame? Is it weight loss? Is it just detoxing from summer? Is it just kind of getting back into the right lane? Whatever it is, right? So depending on your goal is going to determine the length of time. So now you're thinking about it. I'm just going to choose 2 weeks just for conversation. So you've got 14 days. For 14 days, I'd like you to eat organic food. They carry organic foods even at Walmart. We do want to make sure you choose certified organic because of the loopholes that are available. You really are trying to avoid the GMO products and the pesticides. And when something is certified organic, then there's a lot of boxes that are checked. So if you just look at certified organic and read well and read front and back, right? So choose organic food. That's not only just Safeway and Walmart. And for those of you that are living in larger areas that have, Trader Joe's and Whole Foods and all sorts of options. I'm not just speaking about your lettuce and tomatoes and cucumbers and bell peppers. I'm talking across the board. I'm talking your coffee beans. I'm talking even your meats and your poultry and your fish. I'm talking about choosing the absolute highest quality that you can. Because if we're going to clean you up and clean you out, and if you want to feel the absolute amazing difference in your body that simply changing the foods that you eat can make, then you gotta go all in, right? You got to go all in. Don't buy the certified organic broccoli and put your Smart Beet, Smart Balance, synthetic, darn near plastic, quote, butter on it and poison yourself. Okay. So I just came back from Tahoe and took one of the best yoga classes I have ever experienced. It was absolutely wonderful. And the instructor's theme was intention, or the intention of the class was deciding as individuals right here and now and throughout the day, and this is just kind of how I live anyway, is what I'm doing right now going to nourish my health or diminish it? Okay? So that's how I look at every single thing that I put in my mouth. That also includes things that I put in my body and the cleaners in our house. And I have to admit, this has been a gradual change. I grew up with Clorox bleach. If your bathroom doesn't smell like Clorox bleach, it isn't clean. Little things like that. But for right now, your 14 days, let's talk about eating organic foods, and also organic, certified organic, and buying the 100% grass-fed beef. Cows don't eat corn, and they don't like corn, and so the only way that the mass producers of meat get them to eat the corn is to cover it in sugar, like molasses, for example, is one thing. And they're eating GMO corn at that, right? And then we eat the cows. And if you're a vegan or vegetarian, fine, God bless you. Choose your organic beans, making sure, of course, I'm kind of getting off the trail here, but making sure if you're a vegan or vegetarian that you're getting enough protein and not all in one area. I mean, for gosh sakes, to have an adequate amount of protein for a vegan or vegetarian, you're more than likely going to have 9 cups of beans. So let's spread it out between the legumes and the nuts and the seeds, okay? So that you're not having to eat 9 cups of beans. So what are we doing? We are choosing a length of time, say 14 days, right? You're going to eat everything organic. And if you're still eating grains, that's a conversation I'd like to have with you in the future. But even choosing, your rice or everything organic, just think everything organic, everything natural, everything sustainable. This even is talking about environmental choices, okay? So be careful with your tunas and your salmon. Make sure you're buying pole-caught, sustainable choices for our environment. We have to take care of this earth, and when we do, it gives back to us well. So the next thing I want you to do is no processed foods. You can even buy organic processed foods. You really can. I have a general rule to where, unless it's like a list of herbs, because maybe you're buying like an almond flour little cracker or something, right? For your liver pate or whatever you're enjoying it on, or my husband's salsa or whatever. The list can go on and on and on. And you can find actually organic and gluten-free crackers that are highly processed. So I stick to 4 ingredients. When you turn that box around or that bag around, if it is something that is a convenient food, like a grass-fed beef stick or a cracker or hummus or whatever it is that you didn't do the preparation to make that, stick to 4 ingredients. 4 ingredients, no more than 4. And make sure that they're all food or minerals that you can actually identify. And of course, that means no added sugar. By simply eating organic foods and avoiding processed foods. And lastly, only consuming filtered water. Here in the mountains, water is weird. Sometimes up here I've tasted it and it's tasted just like I was in LA or something, highly chlorinated. My own house, that's what it tastes like. You can turn on the sink and smell the chlorine. It smells like a pool. We're only very short ways away from where that water is processed and cleaned. So what we do is we filter our water. I use here for our family Aquasana. I totally enjoy it. The water tastes awesome. They have a on-the-counter system, which is very affordable. I think we only have, $150 invested in that. And even our coffee is brewed in that. Or, my husband had a gluten-free pasta. Notice I said my husband last night. And I use filtered water for the pasta, for his pasta last night. So filtered water is a whole interesting topic. I know a lot of people buy bottled water, and sadly, there has been research done, like blind pools of bottled water, and they have found that a large percentage of those bottles are simply tap water. we're spending money on buying tap water. And then there's a conversation about the plastic that they're housed in and everything else. So a lot of my clients end up discovering that they have heavy metals as one example of toxins that we can get out of our water. So by filtering it, typically a triple filter is guaranteed, but if you're